one of the biggest, discussions we've seen a lot of the time has been like one shots, right? We've been seeing, how it feels getting one shot. We've seen it with a lot of heroes like Roadhog, Sojourn. So, how is the feeling on one shots right now currently? And then I think we can kind of go into the Roadhog changes right away after that because obviously,
Yeah, so I think right now, if we how the team about one shots and how we normally think about one shots is we like to look at it sort of holistic, not so much just on that moment in time when the one shot occurs, but rather, what was the risk of getting that? Is there counterplay available? Things of that nature. Also, what role is this occurring in? I think with Hog definitely being a tank there, that comes into play of, took a lot of the one shots out of tank. That's something we don't necessarily want them to have. An example we've been talking about recently is Widow. You jump Widow, and maybe that 200 health is too high for actually being able to have enough counterplay and kill her there when you actually do a lot of work to get into that situation, right? And then other things such as some of the random ones. I think sometimes that may surprise you. Not necessarily a one shot, but the Junkrat projectiles that roll across the floor, something that may hit you, or the Hanzo air from afar. Those are some of the things we're still considering and thinking about as well. But I think there's sometimes a very strong focus on just that moment alone when there's a lot of skill expression required to actually achieve some of these one shots, whether it be the aim itself, but on the other side, Overwatch is a game about movement, and there's a lot of movement there as well. If you're clipping a Lucio from that far away, there is a moment of skill there too. So I like to think about the problem or the issue holistically. Think about counterplay. I think so. You may see some changes in the future to maybe change up what that relationship looks like.
okay. I was surprised to hear about a lot of the one shots, even with like Widow and Hanzo, because it's interesting to hear that.
Yeah. So just to clarify, do you consider something like the Junkrat left click and then mine combo as a one shot? Because it's like it is two things at the same time, but you basically like explode.
Yeah, it's more just like this burst damage and where that comes from, right? Not necessarily a one shot, but it is like the moment itself is pretty close, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we think about like what is that maximum damage we want there, and also just some of the frustration from when those things happen from far away. Like, how do we want to go about that as well?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.